Well, welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, it's almost at the end of National Allotment Week, where we should be encouraging others to grow their own, take on allotments, even take on growing on their balconies or just the backyards. And people have asked in the past before about these pallet collars. These are basically collars that sit on pallets for sturdier items that may fall off. So these just sit on top of the pallet and they actually fold away, which I'll show you when I bring the other one over. So you can either have them at this depth or you could increase the depth. So for easy storage, when they're not using them, they fold up flat. And for us, these metal lips sit over each other. Now my carrot boxes are 3 high and my parsnips are 4 high. That's personal preference. But a bed this deep is ideal for square foot gardening, a little bit of lettuce, carrots and a few other seasonable vegetables. Of course, you need compost to top them up, and as you know, I can get access to quite a bit of this just by looking and collecting the spent cannabis compost that people dump unscrupulously in lay-bys or in lanes. Now what I want to show you today is how to protect these pallet collars when you get them. You can get them for free, but you could pay £4 to £5 for them, and it's worth looking after them. Not all about actually staying in the wood or protecting the wood, because that costs money, but here I've actually put these onto a concrete edging. It could be bricks or anything like that. That keeps it off the ground, because wood acts as a wick. So if this wood was sat on the soil, it would draw all the moisture out of that into the wood itself and then eventually evaporate. But if it's constantly sitting on wet ground or got wet soil compost on the inside, it will continually draw the moisture out into the wood. Now if you keep this wood dry and stop it doing that, they will last a lifetime. My carrot box and parsnip box pallet collars, I've had these about 5 years. I've added to them, but some of the older ones I've had quite a long time. And in the past I've just sat them on wood, but I've seen my mistake with the parsnip box, which has started to rot at the bottom. So keep them off the ground. Then you could line them with plastic. Now you may be buying some bags of compost, so why not cut the bags up and then just line it up. Now I don't put the plastic over the top, because moisture rises and it'll get trapped and it'll rot the top. So I just line mine to the top, vertical. Any water that goes down the back will be drawn out by the wood and out into the atmosphere, and it should dry out nicely. So don't worry about that. I'll just show you now some of the pallet collars that I actually get that aren't very good. These are riveted. These others now are very cheap and nasty, but they'll do a job for us. And once you've done, the plastic will come out at the bottom, and we could always put wood chips at the bottom. Wood chips will tend to stay reasonably dry, or gravel or pebbles, whatever you've got to hand wherever you're growing your own. So I'll just show you now some of these are 2 good ones, but the rest are in poor condition. But when they're free, you don't mind spending a little bit of time on them. So I've popped another pallet collar on it. You probably can't see it from there, but let's have a little closer look. And you could possibly see that it's not square, it's not very good at all. obviously it's been damaged by a forklift truck or whatever, but this just needs a little bit of persuasion to bring it back in line. Again, this side is exactly the same. Not in very good condition, but it just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing at the moment, but with a little bit of persuasion with a hammer it'll be fine. So these pallet collars are held in with rivets. They look like rivets anyway. Now these newer ones haven't got the rivets, they've got no screws, got no nothing, and this is what's been happening to them. All they've got is these spikes which are driven into the wood. So I've been finding one or two of these now by the skip. They don't normally put them in the skip because they do know people do help themselves, and so what I'm going to have to do is level all these out, turn it over, and I'll put a few screws in, and knowing that this happens, it won't hurt to put a few screws in each of these. And this one's had a bash and it hasn't lasted 5 minutes. Look, the wood's out, and even the wood's missing on this piece. But like I said, won't hurt. Find a piece of wood, screw this all together, and we save ourselves a few pennies, and it will create some nice raised beds in the future. Now the new raised beds that I'm doing with the scaffold plank should finish here somewhere, and I thought, well, this compost bin isn't exactly in the right place. It's on the wrong side of the allotment, and I thought maybe I could move this up there somewhere, maybe a little bit close to the polytunnel, as long as I've got room for maintenance and to do anything. And I'll do a run down here which will continue all the way through to where my parsnips are there, and move these about. It's a bit of a mess about, but I think it'll be good to do, ready for the future, because they will last a long time. So this is the parsnip box, 4 pallet collars high, and as you can see, yes, I have treated the outside, and it is just started to go now on the bottom pallet collar. But because these pallet collars come apart, I can just remove those, and that one's still good. And I'm not sure what else you can. There's the plastic, and yes, water can get down, but it comes out, evaporates. What you mustn't do is bring the plastic over and all the way down and traps any moisture inside. But the parsnips love it in there. And like we've said, this is the carrot box. There's one there and one there, 3 high, so it makes a nice long bed separated in the middle, the enviromesh to keep the carrots out. Now realistically, 3 pallet collars high should stop the carrot fly. Not always, so we just protect it anyway, and it just adds that extra warmth. And with the wood chips being at the bottom, they're drying out nicely, and I'm hoping that none of those have gone rotten. There's the transplanted carrots. Now these carrots were transplanted exactly the same time as these, and I will be doing a reveal of the carrots grown in the polytunnel and the carrots grown outside, because I'm absolutely sure there's going to be a massive difference. I hope you've all done your little bit by sharing vegetables surplus and encouraging others to grow their own during this week. And yes, I've enjoyed myself. I have posted that video, as you've probably seen. I'm not sure how long I'll leave it up, but I hope you enjoyed just seeing the few minutes of me being with Shafali and being live, not a pleasant experience. Anyway, take care my friends, happy gardening, till next time. Ta-ra for now. Excuse me. The biggest cabbage is now over 1.5 meters wide. Excuse me.